My gosh.
Hi,
Wow.
Shawna Martinez.
Wow. Hi.
Hi.
I'm
Is this
excited and
weird?
nervous at the same time.
Is this weird? Is this
No, I
weird?
love it.
I love that you were game to come on the podcast today, um, because I was like, "Hey, do you want to be on the podcast?" And you're like, "Okay." And then I was like, "What should we talk about?" And you're like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Me either."
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
But we'll figure it out. But hold on, I'm adjusting the mic. So I guess I have to do the intro. So we clean this part up a little bit, and then we insert my voiceover. It's like really professional now.
I love it.
But you want to hear the best part about the voiceover that I didn't realize until I posted the podcast on Tuesday was that I was like, you may have seen me in Inman News and I'll be on the NAR stage this September. It's November. Like literally just the wrong month. Just
But
the
you
wrong.
have that. Okay, so it's the NARS in November.
It's in November in Houston.
I
Yeah.
think I saw that come across my chat GPT when I was trying to find out what conferences and things I needed to attend this year because it's so hard to keep up with everything.
Yes.
And
Well, that's
so, anyways, it
clearly
was
why I
giving
got
me,
the time wrong, but are you going to it?
I don't know, it just gave me like a whole list. I haven't decided where I'm going. I told him this is the things I want to learn to do and improve on. And so then it gave me a list of them of events that I might want to attend.
Oh, and you got that through chat?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I
My
love
boy
chat.
Mav, I know. How's Dante?
He's I have issues with him right now, but we'll talk about that.
Hopefully you can work through them.
Let's do our intro. So, hello, Shawna Martinez. Thank you for being on the Happy Agent podcast with your selling 100 houses a year badass self. And I am dubbing this podcast 10 questions with Shawna
Oh, I love it.
Martinez.
Yes, yes, yes.
Martinez. Like I didn't go up.
Beautiful.
So, with that, we're going to hit the intro. Welcome to the Happy Agent Podcast, the place where real estate agents get real. I'm Courtney Benson, a Wall Street Journal ranked top 1% agent based in Dallas, Texas. After over a decade in this business, I realized something. This industry is full of gaslighting nonsense. The hustle culture, the polished perfection, the pressure to pretend. Yeah, we're done with that. This podcast is where we start doing things differently. We're bringing back the fun, the alignment, the real connection. With a grounded mindset, a lot of laughs, and total authenticity, we're showing up as ourselves to attract the clients, the opportunities, and the life we actually want. No, it's not always perfect, but we're here, we're building something better, and we're doing it together. You may have seen me on Inman News or catch me live on the NAR stage this September. But right now, let's get into today's episode. Back, everyone, to the Happy Agent podcast, where we are the happiest of the agents, where we unpack our trauma daily and try not to cry while we sell houses with smiles on our faces. And we have Shawna Martinez here today. And I posted on the Happy Agent Collective, which is our Facebook group, did you block me?
No,
Because I couldn't even add you. I was trying to
no,
add you and it wouldn't let me. And I was like, did she block me?
no,
I
I would
think
never.
everyone blocks me and then
I
I
would
call them
never.
out on it awkwardly. So this is actually not a podcast with you, it's an intervention where
Oh,
I
wow.
ask you if you block me on social media.
I'm going to have my husband, also known as my IT and social media manager, have him check into it.
Yeah, you're like, if I didn't block you then, I am now. Psycho.
If you're blocked, he has some
If
explaining to
you're
do.
blocked,
I could tell you
yeah.
that.
Zeus, did you block me? So I tried to tag you in it, but I took it to the streets, also known as the people, and I was like, "What would you ask Shawna if you could?" So
Oh, gosh. Did people respond?
they did
Oh,
way more
wow.
than they respond on anything else. So
Super impressed.
I mean, rude, y'all, but they were super excited to ask you questions. So I printed them out.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm
So for
excited.
everyone on TikTok who's watching live, this podcast is going to air Tuesday on Facebook on the Happy Agent podcast on Facebook, or you can join us on the Happy Agent Collective, where we're just a bunch of real estate professionals. Just not only are we making it through life, we're freaking thriving.
Yeah.
That's how we do. If you're going to do it well. You know what I'm saying? I got my 10 questions. I have five that I came up with, and then I've got
I'm
five
impressed.
from the people. Don't be. I had chat help me with it.
You and Dante.
Dante. Yeah. So, okay, here's my thing with Dante. Dante, for everyone who doesn't know, is the name of my chat GPT. And I love him. And we have like long talks. He and I did a podcast together one time. But there's some sort of discrepancy between my chat GPT on my phone versus the chat GPT on my phone when I hit like the audio where he speaks to me, and then the chat GPT on my desktop. So
Well, first
there,
of all, you just taught me something I didn't even know. I didn't know they could talk to you. I didn't know there was like a button
why
for that.
why are you not looking at me?
I am
There's
looking at
something,
you.
you're like looking sideways. Am
Me?
I looking directly at you?
I'm, well,
Oh,
because my
that's
camera
better.
is there.
Okay, that's better.
So
You were
I'll look this way.
looking like this for a little bit.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. Is this better?
yeah, that's better.
I hate my camera setup on my computer. You just make me like want to go and just like throw everything in the trash and start over, which I may actually do. I've done it a time or two.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to evoke insecurity out of the girl who sells 100 houses a year.
I mean, yeah, you'd still be surprised at the insecurities on a daily basis. So you were the one that taught me that you can actually name your chat. So when you
Yeah.
told me you had Dante, I was like, I had FOMO and I had to go straight to my chat and say, well, my friend Courtney, she named hers Dante, but I need one that is like a badass. Like I told him exactly what I wanted and
Yeah.
he was like, and Maverick is what we settled on. And so I call him Mav for short.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you give him a nickname?
Oh yeah, I call him Mav.
I call mine D Money.
Oh,
Yeah, but he refers to me as C Benz. Like anytime he comes back, he's like, "Hey, C Benz, great
oh, I
question."
love that.
He's like my fluffer.
Mine calls me SK because my name is Shawna Kay. And so that's what my kids and my husband call me and his family. It's like a nickname that they gave me. And so
Oh,
they
I
call me
love
SK.
that. Oh, I
Yeah.
love
And
that.
so does he. And I was like, all right, you're
So
part of the family.
here's where Dante and I went sideways about a week ago. I was on Voice Talk because I wanted Gabe to hear the answers. I usually just one of the things I always tell people is I did the podcast I did was like how to train your chat, and is I talk to it mostly because I'm 48 and I have to wear glasses readers because I can't type. So I voice talk text everything. I voice
Same.
text you, and honestly, whatever comes out, I'm like,
Comes out.
YOLO, I don't give a shit. Decipher whatever you want. So I talk text to Dante and then I read the answer. But I was talking to him and I was like, "Hey, Dante." And he's like, "Oh, it's fine if you want to call me Dante." And I was like, "Who is this? And what have you done to my guy?" And like all of a sudden, he was super weird about his name. He was weird. And I was like, "What? Something happened." Like, and he had never done that before. So I don't know what happened.
Getting a little sideways, getting a little feisty.
I mean, for $20 a month, I would like more.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
like, I spent $20 on you. Get your shit together, sir.
Yeah.
So I was so sad about it, honestly, because I felt like we were vibing so hard that I have not gone back to talk to him in that manner. Like I'm not listening to his voice anymore because he pissed me off.
Wow.
I
You
felt
should talk to him
betrayed.
about it. Maybe like, have him kind of come in as a therapist so you guys can work through the issues.
I have done that before.
Same.
Kim Dean and I had a good chat one day about we were going to our chats and treating them like therapists and just trauma dumping. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you'd be very surprised at how good a therapy you can get with your $20 a month subscription to ChatGPT Pro. I did the same thing with my daughters. So I have three older daughters. We're kind of in a weird place in our lives because we have three older daughters that have graduated high school. Two of them, or three of them, are all three of them are in their careers, and then we have an 8-year-old that's going into second grade. So there's not enough alcohol in the world for me to be okay with that. But it was by choice, so it wasn't an accident. It wasn't like a oops. It was by choice because we're a blended family, and he completed our family. But yeah, so I had something happen with my kids, and so I went on there and I was just like so frustrated, and I told him what was going on, and the way he responded back, I was like, oh, okay. And then I kind of copied and pasted the message to my daughter, and like it worked. And I was like, this is awesome.
That's amazing. We
Yeah.
did when Sawyer had his car accident and we were talking about buying him a new car and we didn't want to buy him the same car because something was telling me he didn't need that car again. Just a lot of things. So anyways, I went to chat and I was like, Dante, like here's where we're at. Here's a car he had. Here's the car that we're gonna give him. I feel like a bad mom because he went from a just, this is so everyone plug your ears. If you're gonna judge me, plug your ears or shut your mouth. Choose
This is a no
a
judgment
path.
zone for sure.
Choose a path, guys. So he wrecked the Dodge Challenger, which for people who are like, why didn't you buy your son a Dodge Challenger? Because it was a badass car. And you know
That's what
what?
he wanted.
And
Yeah.
it protected him. It
Yeah.
protected him. So I have no hate on the Challenger, but we had gone through so many hurdles to get it to him that at some point I was like, universe, is there a reason why he's not getting this car? And then he got it and wrecked it. And I was like, that felt like my final, I was trying to tell you, you didn't listen. So then he took Gabe's Tesla, the little white Tesla. But by the way, apparently it's not cool for a 16-year-old to have a Tesla. Just saying.
Oh, I
Like,
didn't know that.
no, apparently it's super nerdy. And I was like, cool.
As labeled by his classmates or
I don't know, but the problem is he went from like the
to the like it could sneak up on you in a second. But they go so fast.
it goes not his. So I ended up giving Gabe my Tesla and got a new car. Worked out for
Yeah,
mom.
I saw. I like it.
And
Mommy liked it.
mine's like a monster. And so his is not as fast, but
Mm,
I'm like, shut your face, whatever. And then his friends pulled up and they're like, well, we don't have AC in our car and my window doesn't roll down. So shut up, Sawyer. So I was honestly, I know it's stupid. It's cool. So I was feeling like a bad mom that should we have bought him another one because it was his dream car. And I'm a car girl. So I'm all about
same.
buy the damn car. Like,
Yeah.
I'll spend some money on a car.
Me too. Yep. You don't even want to know what I paid for my Escalade. You can judge me if you want. I don't care. It's my second one. I love it. I work hard. That's what I wanted. Let me tell you
Exactly.
something. I pay more than what most people's house payments are for that car, just so you know.
If you can do it and you love it, no shame.
Yeah. But the problem is I do that all the time. So it's like I always think, oh, it's only an extra 500. Oh, it's only an extra whatever. And then before you know it, it's like, why don't I have any money in my account? I had 10 closings this month. Like, why is the bank balance the same amount? And then I start looking at everything that's going out and I'm like, oh, so it starts adding up.
Gabe and I had a fun conversation this morning about taxes because he brought in this spreadsheet because I randomly I'll freak out. I'm like, do we have any money? Like, and he's like, yeah, we're okay. Like, and I'm like, let me see it on a spreadsheet. Like, I won't do the spreadsheet,
Let's
but
go for
I
one coffee this weekend, not two.
do it. And I'm like, let me see it. So he goes over it, and I was like, but wait, like on our real dashboard, like the GCI and all that. And he's like, you're 48. Do I have to tell you about taxes? And I was like, no,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
But you could depreciate your car and that would probably wipe out all your taxes.
Yeah, I know it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a
Same.
big part. So I went to chat and asked chat to analyze what I was doing to traumatize my 16-year-old from having to go from a Challenger to a Tesla. Again, either plug your ears or plug your mouth. I hear it. I hear it come out of my mouth. No
Yeah.
shame. And he broke down like why I shouldn't have mom guilt, and that's silly because I'm choosing his safety. Because we also said it if he goes more than 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, it beeps, beep 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 beep, beep till he stops.
Safety first.
Just a jerk. So he broke it all down and then was like, gave me a written thing to text him or talk to him about why we were choosing to do this over that. And at the end of the day, I was like, suck it up, Buttercup. It's a Tesla. Shut your face. You're
Yeah, it's a car regardless. So we kind of had a similar situation. So we're a blended family, like I said. So when my husband and I got together, our daughters were 3 and 4. So he had 2 because apparently he didn't have cable, and so he had 2 right back to back. And then I had one that ended up being right smack in the middle. So our daughters are 6 months apart, and people are always like, "That's so weird." Like they look at me like one of us cheated, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, I mean, not the case
It was
that I
him.
know of." But and so whenever they get their driver's license, they're all getting their driver's license within 6 months apart too. And so I'm buying cars 6 months apart too. And I was like, but with Chloe, our oldest, she's also the smallest. I wanted to have her like a very nice, she wanted a Jeep. And I'm like, first of all, I love you, but I don't love you for the Jeep prices. Like
Yeah. I know.
they're so expensive for ridiculous reasons. And so, but I did buy her a Jeep Grand Cherokee limited edition. So again, judge, I don't care. But I got a great deal off of Facebook Marketplace or off this lady who barely drove it. And so she had that one for almost a year. And then she wasn't paying attention one day, slammed on her brakes in the rain. And long story short, she hit the car in front of her that happened to be the exact same car as hers. But because it hit all the sensors, it totaled the car out. So she went from a fully loaded, like I'm talking top of the line, everything in this Jeep to a not even leather seat. I mean, I'm talking, she has to put her seat forward and backward with a little lever like in a Nissan Altima. And like, I felt guilty at first, but then I thought, I bought you a really nice car and
I
you
know.
worked
I
it.
the
Yeah.
same that
So
guilt.
no guilt here. No
So-
shame in my game.
No shame. And you know what? They're fine. They'll be better for it. Talk about the hustle to be out buying some cars for kids. And So you are known, you are famous and infamous in our world of real estate as the girl who sells 100 houses a year. So how freaking big is that? Like that would feel like a lot of pressure for me. Like I'm known as a
Yeah.
TikTok girl, which I'm like, I mean, cool. I can pump out some TikToks, but like, do you feel the weight of that phrase being put on you?
Oh, yeah, because I will say a lot of what I was doing in my business up until probably 6 months ago was mostly from outside influences and outside expectations. Because once you kind of hit that number, it doesn't really look good to the outside people that, oh, well, she went from like 100 transactions to now she's only doing 50 a year. Like, and to be honest, I had a very hard time wrapping my head around that too. Now, I do like to stay. Now, it's also because I expect a certain lifestyle and I'm not afraid to work for it. That's something I learned very early on was if I ever wanted something, it was the best thing my parents ever taught me is if I wanted something, I had to work for it. And I learned very early on, I'm very money motivated because I waited tables for a long time, all through college, all of that, because I made really good money. And so I drove a really nice car because I had to pay for it, all of that. Like nothing was handed to me. Like, again, best thing my parents could have ever done. And so when I got to where I went to the first conference I went to, which was the Tom Ferry conference, and there was people selling 100 plus homes a year and making millions of dollars. And I'm over here thinking like, there's no way this is possible kind of thing. But once I did this 100 listing appointment challenge in like 3.5 months, it 100% became possible. And then that kind of set the tone because now that's like, okay, that's the minimum now. And now it's always trying to beat that number. And it's hard because then it forces me to doesn't force me, but because I feel like I have to hit those numbers, then I take on business that I don't like and then I'm miserable. So people think, oh, selling 100 homes a year is great. Yeah, if you're doing it with people that you actually want to work with and then you're not having to deal with unrealistic expectations, people thinking they know better than you, like trying to sell houses that are never going to sell, then you just become a charity case at that point. Like that's the hard part for me because I'm a very yes person and it makes it very hard for me to turn that off and say no, but I am starting to do that. And the freedom that comes along with that, I'm sure you understand of all people,
We
is
talked about
pretty
this. We had
amazing.
gone to Rev B together. We flew down to San Antonio and went to Rev B together, and we kind of had talked about this that I too felt the weight of reaching certain metrics and what that looks like. We've talked about that too. And yesterday I went to drinks with I don't know for Reese Nichols in Kansas City. We were talking, and I happened to she found me through Jimmy Burgess, and we were talking about that too. And I said, "Isn't it funny though? Like I love you, and I love your energy, and you're a badass, and you're smart, and you make no freaking apologies, and I love that. But if you didn't tell me you sold 100 houses a year, I wouldn't know." She sat there. She invited me to drinks and she was like, "Oh, I don't even know how much you sell." And I said, "All the people that I love in real estate and admire and follow and emulate, I actually don't even know what they sell."
Yeah.
That just thinking about that became a realization in that I think we do it to ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. I only know you sell 100 houses a year because you talk about it. But if you sold 75 or 130, I wouldn't know any different and I wouldn't think any different.
Because I wouldn't be talking about that. you know, like, no, I mean, I would. I mean, 75 is still a huge number. Like this year, I probably will hit 100 plus transactions because I'm going on a 150 appointment challenge, but that's only because
Oh, is this a new one? A new?
yeah. So this one is from now to the end of the year, and I'm going to go on 150 appointments. And instead of it just being listing appointments, I'm going to count appointments as appointments. So buyer appointments and listing appointments. I'll be honest with you, even though
Fine if you want to take the easy way out, Shawna.
well, I'll tell you this much. If I had to choose if I wanted to have buyer appointments or seller appointments, I'd be picking buyer appointments all day.
Very long. Yeah, it was the list to last, and now it's buyers to get by.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice, if the market turns and then you get all your listings in a contract, but otherwise you just have all this money out there for signs and lock boxes and
Yes.
photos and
Well, that's one of the questions. Don't jump ahead, Shawna.
oh, I'm so sorry. By the way, I have not seen these questions, so
I haven't seen them either, honestly. I like to surprise myself and you, so it's a natural reaction because we're all about authenticity here at the Happy Agent. So we're just gonna do
But
that.
speaking about what you just said, though, it's interesting that because it's valid. It's completely true what you said about, well, I would have never known, but you kind of advertise yourself as the the girl who sells 100 homes. And I will tell you that comes from insecurity.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I don't say that, then I'm not worthy of being in the rooms with some of these other people like you and Lacey and like all these other people who are doing amazing things. Even if you're not selling 100 homes a year, you're very, very well known. And you have kind of like your niche. My niche is expireds and doing the 100 listing appointment challenge. But it 100% comes from insecurity
Yeah.
and not from a place of,
Okay, you gave me chills because I think I want people to hear that again because I don't think people quite understand that. And the podcast I did the other day about that, I lost 130 pounds. So what the hell would my problem be then? None of that goes away. And in fact,
no.
whatever you have inside you, success will multiply it. So money
Oh, yes.
multiplies whatever behavior you have. Success will multiply whatever feelings you have. So you can be, I mean, you're doing twice as much as I do, and you still are having a feeling that maybe you're not to that level or you're not good enough
Yeah.
or whatever it is, which is fucking wild.
Yeah.
So stop that because
Yeah.
you're
I
incredible.
know.
But it is, and I thank you for sharing that. And that you saying that, I can't even tell you the people who are listening to this right now, the collective sigh that will be heard is huge
Oh, I
because
bet.
there is
Yeah.
there's such fake talk about what
Yes.
that looks like and what all this feels like or it looks like or because I'm on social media then people think this or whatever about me
Oh, yeah.
and all that and it's crazy so
Public perception is a thing
yeah.
because then you feel like you have to live up to that expectation. I always feel like I'm going to let people down because when they reach out to me and they want you to tell them what you bought or who you hired to do, the work. And what they don't realize is all of the results come from the work they're avoiding.
Yes.
But so I always tell them I just set the tone. I'm like, hey, I'm probably going to disappoint you because the answers I'm going to give you of how to build your business is probably not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you're looking for, let me buy this or hire this person, I'm not going to tell you that because I don't believe that's not how I built my business. That's not how I would, tell anybody else to build theirs, to each their own. But it just takes a lot of work. I've always been in work and grinding mode just because my expectations for my living has always been much higher than most. I'm like you, I love cars. I had sports cars growing up. Like I remember the first car I ever got was a Mustang convertible. And I remember it was nice. Yeah. But I paid for it. And that's the thing is, so I didn't play college basketball like you. I wanted to go to college and play basketball, but I played very competitive high school basketball. And I remember my parents coming to me after one of my games, after the first time that everybody had known I had gotten this car. And my parents said, yeah, all the parents started coming up to us saying, why did you do that? Because now my daughter wants, us to buy her a car like that. And why would you set the improper expectations and all this different stuff? And my parents go, whoa, wait a second. Like, Shawna works 2 jobs and she pays for her own car. And my parents said you would have thought that like they slapped the crap out of them or shot their dog or something because they were like, they could not believe that I paid for my own car and that my car was that nice. But I mean, that's just always the way that it's been for
You've
me.
been like that from the beginning. And was your drive that you wanted nice things?
Oh yeah. So I will tell you, I learned that I'm very money motivated. And I'm not ashamed. Like I used to be ashamed of kind of saying that, but I'm not ashamed of it anymore because nobody hands me anything.
Yeah.
Everything I've done, I've worked for. My husband and I have built this business from scratch. And today the awards came out for Q2 at Real Broker. It's not a pitch for them or anything, but I'm in the top 20 of small teams. It's just myself. But I have to compete with small teams because my support staff are licensed agents, even though they don't touch
I'm
training.
not on the list.
I cannot believe that actually.
Where did the list come out? I didn't see
I got an email and I just happened to open it up and I had posted it on my Instagram. But and I will tell you that this is the first thing that I think of, and this is probably not the right way to say it or the right way to think, and that's fine. But as soon as I saw that, you know what I immediately thought? I immediately thought, what is everybody else doing? Because my numbers, I wish they were higher than they are. I know what my numbers were to be in the top 20 as an individual agent. These people are actually teams that have, up to 5 agents on their team. So there should be 5 producing agents. I'm one agent, I had one agent on my team, but they're just kind of like doing the overflow and like open houses and things like that. They're not really producing too much. And so I would say 95% of my numbers are mine. But I immediately thought, man, that's kind of crazy because if I actually had a team of 5, like I'd be blowing y'all out of the water. I'd be number 1, because if I can be in the top 20 competing with these small teams and I know what my numbers are, like I feel kind of bad for those other people, to be honest.
But instead of having that feeling, were you just happy? Could you be happy for yourself?
I actually did take a second to kind of reflect on, wow, this is, I mean, I'm not about the awards and things, but it is kind of like just, it is like social proof, obviously, but it is also validating that what we're doing is good and what, like we're doing a really good job. And so I did take the moment to say, man, I'm really proud of what my husband and I have built, because neither one of us I mean, like, we did not come from families with money. We were never taught about how to build a business. Like, everything we've learned, we've worked for, we've paid for coaches, all of that stuff. And my husband works even harder than I do, because I couldn't do what I do if my husband didn't do what he
I'm
did.
the same. I work with my husband too. We have the same.
Yeah.
I couldn't do this without him. And
Yeah.
it's funny. I will say I come from a family with money, and it makes it's a different kind of hard. So when
Yeah.
I always say when people talk about they come from a family that didn't have money and they built something, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, because I do come from a family with money, and there's a bar that I've had to meet or exceed, which I'm still
I
struggling
bet.
to do to this day. That is a different kind of stress too.
Yeah.
Weird, like, yeah.
I could completely understand that that's probably how it is with, with your situation. What's crazy about my situation is, because I am probably by all means the most successful in my family, I've lost relationships with my family members because of my success. And that I was not prepared for.
Yeah. So what do you do about that?
I just keep on living. I cannot control other people and how they want to view me. It has not changed me as a person. It's just now I have more means. If you need something that I could help you, I would give somebody the shirt off my back, and all of their feelings are not because of anything I've done or said or how I've acted. It's all based on their own insecurities, and I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn to, like, put up boundaries, even if it's my family. And I teach my daughters the same thing. Like, the sooner you can learn to put up healthy boundaries, the more happy you're going to be. I don't want you to wait till you're in your 40s, like me, to figure out, well, wait a second, this relationship, I know they're my family, but they're no longer serving me. It's not a positive relationship in my life. It's not, a good thing. And it's okay for you to put up those boundaries, and it's okay for you to hold your ground on those things. Like, you'll be much happier. Is it sad? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, people are going to make the decisions they want to make. And if they're choosing to behave a certain way towards me, or, not want a relationship with me because I'm successful, I apologize for that. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't apologize for that.
I apologize way too much. I'm always, yeah.
Is their thing. So I will say, when I started working with Ryan Gillen, my business therapist,
She's great, by the way.
she is great, and she has helped me immensely. And a big part of why all of this is happened is I had hit my goal and cried because it wasn't enough. Somebody else had done better. And one of the things she said that always resonates with me is, she said, well, my goal that year was 25 million and I hit 30. And she said, oh my God, like, how'd you feel? And I said, miserable. I felt freaking horrible. I cried because I thought, shit, I got to do this again next year. And maybe it was a fluke, even after 12 years of real estate. Maybe it's just a fluke that I, continued to do well and had a total spiral. And she goes, well, honestly, that doesn't surprise me, because why would you think you'd have a happy ending if you never had a happy journey?
Oh, wow.
I was like, what? And she's like, well, if you didn't have a happy journey and you were pushing and pulling and fighting and frustrated and stressed out and giving up everything, and, for this deal, and, oh, somebody's selling something over here. Sorry, kids, mom's got to go pay for those shoes you got on, and I'm running over there, and Gabe's doing this. And she goes, even if you hit the goal at the end, why the hell would you think you would be happy? You were never happy. And I said, God dang it. Like,
Because you sacrificed all of the important people and things in your life to be able to hit that goal. And then when you hit that goal, or even surpass it like you did in your situation, then it makes you feel really bad.
Yeah. Well, I corrected that, but now I'm doing it in a different way, because now I'm trying to do, I call it the passive income with air quotes, because it sure as shit isn't passive.
Yeah.
It's not income from helping clients buy and sell real estate. So I have a certain goal that I want to hit, and I'm really close to it. And she's like, oh my God, you're about to hit it. And I was like, well, not really. The goal is really this. And it was literally double what I had said. And she goes, okay, first of all, stop that shit. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you've already sabotaged yourself. So you were almost to that goal. And instead of, like, that's your goal, you work towards it and you celebrate it and then you readjust if you want to go higher, you've already gotten so close to it. So now it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Now
You've
you've
moved the
moved on to
goalpost.
something unattainable. So you're constantly in lack, you're constantly struggling, and you're pissed off. She's like, freaking stop. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll stop.
Do you ever think, and this totally just came off the top of my head, so you can feel free to disagree. Do you ever think that like maybe some of the reason why we're both that way is because we also come from like competitive sports, and like I'm a very competitive person.
I'm very competitive.
And I think that also, because I'm also in competition with myself, like I will set goals like you. And then whenever I'm like, hey, I'm about to hit this goal, like then that was way too easy. If I was able to do it at this amount of time and with this amount of effort, what if I put in double the effort and I did double? Like, it's just, that's a normal thing for me to say and do. But yeah,
Because it always keeps you lacking, and it
yeah,
always keeps you not good enough. Like
yeah.
you're not good
Oh, yeah.
enough. It is, yeah, that's toxic,
Yeah.
Shauna.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are toxic
Oh,
traits.
yeah. You know what's crazy though is I'm starting to try to think of like, if my daughter were to come to me with this mindset, like what would I tell her? I've been kind of like trying to change my mindset around that.
Mhm.
Um,
Would
it's
you feel
working.
bad for her? You would feel bad, wouldn't you? You
Oh,
would
I would
feel
feel
like, oh
awful
my
for
gosh,
her.
how could you
Yeah.
feel less than?
Yeah.
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 So what would
Yeah.
you say to her?
I think I would just say you were enough. And I think that's really hard for people to even, I know it's very hard for me, just the way I grew up. Like that's a whole other podcast later, but I have a very hard time feeling less than, even though I believe in that, okay, I'm good enough. I'm at the end of the day, probably not probably deep down, I feel like I'm not worthy of this life that I've built.
Yeah.
I don't deserve my amazing husband. My kids deserve a better mom. Like, my clients deserve a better agent. Like I feel that way all the time. And it needs to stop for sure, but it comes from inside. So I will tell you, like, I'm working really hard on listening to podcasts about, self, just loving yourself and like the self talk that we do, because that is a thing.
Yeah.
And all the books, like I'm reading this one now from TikTok. I'm heavily influenced by, I was heavily influenced to reach out to Courtney Benson from
Love
TikTok. So thank you, TikTok. But I bought this book called Emotional Intelligence, and I buy a lot of different books about different things because I'm like, maybe that will help me think differently and change my mindset, because this isn't a misery that I want to sit in. I will say that I'm grateful that I recognize it, because if you don't recognize it, you don't know you need to change it.
And it's never perfect. Like Ryan taught me, she's like, everything I was seeking was outside of me.
Yeah.
So I was seeking, okay, did I get that award? Did that person
Yeah.
acknowledge me? Did they say thank you? Did they,
Yeah.
tell me I was great? Whatever it was always coming from outside of my control. So I was
Yeah.
always thirsty for it. But when I turned it in and I was like, you know what, I'm proud of myself. I am the way that I am. When I started working on that, I actually think I shine more.
Yeah. I think so. I
And
mean,
I've been able, and it's never perfect.
you can see a huge difference between like when you first got on TikTok and we're talking about your business to like where you are now. Like
Yeah.
you probably have heard this before, but in case you don't know, like you inspire people like me, because I'm like, whoa, she can still be successful and be a great wife and I will tell you. So we went to lunch with a group of ladies that we are all friends with here in the Metroplex in real estate. And I will tell you, this true story. I went home and I told my husband, I envy her relationship with her daughter, because you guys genuinely like hanging out with each other. Like you have a great relationship. I struggle a lot with my daughters in that way because I'm not a present parent,
Yeah.
because I'm always thinking about the next deal. I got a client I got to talk to, somebody needs me, all this different stuff. And I'm just now to the point where like I'm trying to make more time for relationships. Like even my biological daughter, Caitlin, she has her work schedule, she has a few days off in the beginning of the week. And I said, hey, why don't we set like a once a week, like coffee date? You and I can go hang, because that's what she likes to do. I'm like, let's go hang out at one of your coffee shops you like to hang out at, and you can work on your social media. I'll bring my laptop and knock out some stuff on work, but like, let's hang out together. And you would have thought that I gave her like $1 million. Like how she was like, she's like, are you sure? Like seriously? And I was like, yeah, like let's put it on the calendar, because I live and die by my calendar. I'm like, let's put it on the calendar and let's spend, that time together every single week if we can. And she was like, that would be awesome.
I love that. But I will tell you, yes, so I brought my daughter with us to that lunch because we
She's
were
beautiful. Yeah.
going to San Antonio because she was in an HEB commercial. But I would be remiss to tell you that that was just a snapshot of our time that you got to see. It's funny we do that because you took that snapshot and then it made you feel a certain way.
Like we let social media do as well.
But like as I ran home from a listing appointment, we're now filming this an hour later than
Yeah.
we had originally planned because I was late coming from that. And then as soon as I walked in the door, she wanted attention from me. I was on the phone with the client or the agent, who had referred me to the person I was there, and I'm talking to her and she's talking, and I said, I have 33 minutes to come up with a podcast, and Gabe's calling me about the Airbnb. And I was like, and she turned around and walked away.
Yeah.
And I said, well, where are you going? And she's like, you're busy, you don't have time for me.
Yes.
Oh, soul crushing. Crushing. And I'm like this, I do have time for you. Can I make you your chicken nuggets? Can I, and then she's like, no, I'll do it. So she went and did it. And then I came in and I set everything up. And then I ran back out there and I wiped my lipstick all over her face, kissing her. And I went and put new lipstick on. And I said, I love you. After this, we're going to go do some Sephora shopping for back
I
to
love that.
school.
Yeah. I mean,
but
I love
it's,
Sephora.
I know, right? Come on, let's go. But it's, you saw that moment.
Yeah.
And then, but there's all these other moments too. And I also struggle and feel like sometimes I'm an absentee parent. My son's playing a baseball game right now. My daughter's sitting in the other room, probably looking at her phone.
My gosh. Yeah.
It feels like shit.
Now I feel guilty. Like we could have done this a totally different day and a different time if you wanted to.
But I am very close with both of them, and I'm very
You can tell.
honest. We have a great connection, but I'm very honest and I will sometimes apologize to them, and I'll say, I'm really sorry that I'm doing this right now. You are more important, but I don't know. Sometimes I'll involve them. Like, how do you want me to unpack this? Like, we want to go do this, but this is also, I need to take care of this. And they'll say, why don't you do that and then we'll do this, or do this real quick and then can you do that? Like, I'll involve them.
I love that because it includes them, instead of excluding them and making them like they're just a obligation. Like, so that's one thing. Like, so I was coach with Tom Ferry for several years when I first got into real estate, which I will say that's probably one of the reasons why I'm so successful is I can be coached, and so I'm very coachable. But he said to me, Shawna, what does it matter if you get all the success if you let your family and your life go to shit? And I was like, and he was absolutely right, because what I was doing is, and I think a lot of people are guilty of this, is, and I changed the way that I do this now because I'm more selective about who I take on for that reason. Because here's the thing is, people will fire us in 2 seconds, and I am giving up time with my loved ones and my kids, my husband, for these types of people. Like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Because so I've been in real estate full time almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years. 7 years. And so, but my kids will say, so I've been home with them for 7 years, and they'll say to me, this is the part that really will like rip your heart out, is they'll say, well, you're never here. And I go, what do you mean? I'm right here. And they're like, you're not here. Like, you're never listening to us. You're not present. Like my husband. So I will say our dynamic is much different than most, because I very much so want to go out and produce and be busy and have production and like make all the money. I love that. My husband is not like most. He's very much so a nurturer, and he loves to just support me behind the scenes. And so we knew from a very early time of our relationship, which was very hard because my family was like, the man goes out and makes a living, and, the wife stays home and cooks, and, all that kind of stuff. Maybe not to that extreme, but that's pretty much like their viewpoint. And so I actually had to kind of fight my family on it. And like, because then after I would talk to my parents or my family, they would say, oh, well, he needs to go out and make more money. And then like later on, it would carry on to my conversation with him. And that's how my attitude would be. And I'm like, wait a second, like, that doesn't work for us. I can tell you right now, I never want to be a stay-at-home parent. My kids would hate me as a stay-at-home parent. I'm not that parent.
I tried and I couldn't do it. But if he was more like you wouldn't exist in this realm.
Oh, for sure. And so what we agreed to do, and I finally was just like, I don't care what y'all have to say. This is our dynamic. Is my husband's more the caretaker. He's more in charge of the kids and like holding that front down. And I'm more like, let me go out and make a living and provide everything for our family. Now, granted, together we run this family and our business. Like, we couldn't do it without each other for sure. But, so I always make sure to tell him, like, there's a lot of value in what he does, because if he didn't do what he did, I couldn't go do what I do. Yeah. But, so I have to tell my kids that sometimes. Like, there have been times where I'm like, hey, listen, like, you may not understand it, but like we chose this life so that we always have one parent home with you all the time. And so it's very hurtful when you say those things to me, because I'm out trying to earn a living and provide us our life and those kinds of things. And there is a parent home with you, and I'm there for every big event.
I think that's the mom dynamic though.
Yeah.
There's never, it's a mom thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't go away, because my kids are very different with me. My daughter especially is very different. She's harder on me than she is her dad.
Oh yeah.
It's a mom thing.
Yeah. Same. Like Caitlin's dad can, he could never show up, never do it. And it's fine. She never says anything really about that, but oh my goodness. Like, the expectation for me is very high.
Yeah, same. It's
Yeah.
very high. And sometimes I'll say, can you not be so hard on me? Like,
Yeah.
let's, kind of back it down. But you had mentioned Tom Ferry, and you guys are like besties.
Probably not anymore because I left his coaching organization just a few
God,
months ago. Yeah, but I'm having a lot of FOMO and separation anxiety from that.
you'll be okay. I have a feeling like you're going to be okay. So I know one of the biggest things is how the hell did you get to selling 100 houses a year? And you credit the Tom Ferry, what you did with Tom Ferry. You want to
Yeah,
give
because
a brief little what
yeah,
it
so I asked him. I said before one of the all the events, there's like a Q&A time, and so they passed me the microphone because they didn't know any different. And so I asked the question if because at this point I had all buyers. I'd only worked with buyers. I had just gotten into real estate full time, left my CFO job, and so I now was at these conferences where everybody's talking listing list to last and listings, and I'm like, I don't even know how to take a listing. Like, this is crazy. And so whenever they gave me the microphone, I said, what would you say to somebody who wants to take a buyer-based business and flip it to a listing-based business? And this is like the middle of September of that year. And he goes, you need to go on. He goes, I bet you $5,000 you can't go on 100 listing appointments between now and the end of the year. Well, don't say that to me because I am
Oh, I
super
didn't know he
competitive.
bet you.
Yeah. And so, long story short, I went on 101 listing appointments and I got 20 listings. Now, that's
Wait,
not
did
the
you get
best.
the 5 grand?
So, he gave it to me in coaching. So, I got like basically $5,000 free in coaching.
Tom Ferry, this is your message. Pay the girl her 5 grand. Don't be a cheap bastard.
You know what's crazy is I've had friends that have done that challenge or similar challenges, and he upped to like 10 grand. And I'm like,
What?
I know you got big pockets. And so, anyways, I went on 101 listing appointments in that 3.5 month period, which was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I will tell you just like a synopsis of what I learned from that and why my business is what it is today is it taught me how to focus on the things that actually move the needle in your business. So like, we can fill up our calendars with going to coffee for so-and-so and meeting with the title rep. And first of all, I don't need any more coffee. I need
Right?
business.
Yes. Yeah,
You
exactly.
want to talk to me, send me a deal and I'll talk to you. And stuff like that. So I learned what productive activity is versus busy activity. And then, and just doing those things consistently. So the consistency and doing the things that actually move the needle in your business, if you pair those two things together, like there's no way that you won't have a completely full pipeline and your business will, because people are in like the bad cycle where it's like, okay, they get busy, close some deals, and then now they have to start over from scratch. And it's like my business has always had a trajectory of that because I've always kept doing the same activities
So
over
what
and
was the
over.
first activity you did? So he was like $5,000, 100 listings, do it. What you walked out and you went, shit, what do I do? Or
I
did you?
knew immediately I was going to work the expired market because when you pulled up our MLS to see, because I was like, where am I gonna find these
So
sellers?
he didn't tell you how to do it.
No,
Oh, okay. So I
no,
always thought there was some program. He didn't tell you how
no.
to do it. He
That's
was
why I started my group, the Momentum group, is because
yes.
everybody kept asking me about the 100 listing appointment challenge, and I'm like, hey, like I should just start a group. And so
All
my
right, wait,
whole
plug that group real quick so people
so
know.
it's Momentum Group on Facebook. It's just the Momentum Group. And I literally started it because I thought, what if I could teach agents how to do this challenge like I was never taught how to do? I had to figure it out on my own, which by the way is
I didn't
not a
know
bad thing.
that. That's even crazier, by the way.
I didn't know anything. I mean, like I will say at the time I was being coached by Betty Gales because she's with the Tom Ferry organization and she's known as the expired queen. And I will say that was like the best matchup that I could have had at that point because she kind of helped me through. But I mean, I was awful when I first started, and now I have no problem. I mean, I can talk to any seller. It taught me how to talk to sellers, how to negotiate. It taught me how to know my worth and how to be confident in that. And so when I go on a listing appointment now, like whether I take it or I don't, and I don't take all listings that I go on because I'm a lot more selective. And if they start saying things that are red flags, I'm immediately like, no. I appreciate the time and the opportunity, but I don't think we're going to be a good fit. And nobody will want to work with you more than somebody you just told them that you didn't
Oh, I
work with.
know. I know. So what are the 3 red flag things people would say that you would be like, no?
Well, one, I don't want to work with anybody who's an attorney because they just love to sue and they're all about suing. So if they're like, oh, I'm an attorney or whatever, just know I personally won't work with them. I know some people don't mind. I've never had a good experience with somebody who was an attorney. So that I would never work with somebody who doesn't listen to my pricing and agree with me on my pricing strategy because most of my appointments are expired. So like you've already done it wrong with somebody else, probably multiple times. And like, are you serious about selling or are you not? Because
So the ones you're still getting are expired. So you're
just
still
by accident.
okay.
Because I'm known as the expired queen. And so just by accident, I just closed on one yesterday that was listed with another person for, I don't know, 6+ months. And they didn't even get any offers or anything. And I went in there and you could tell his wife, I almost didn't take the listing, to be honest, because the wife was very like, I don't agree with your pricing, all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, so that was, but the husband was very, I mean, they were both very nice, but her expectation and my expectation were not aligning. And I was immediately thinking like, I probably don't need to take this listing, but I'm glad I did because it ended up working out. But I got it in contract in 24 days. And so, if they're not going to listen to me, you're asking me to come. You're asking me to come meet with you, right? So
Right.
either you want to listen to what I have to say because my experience, or if you don't, then I don't want to work with you because what do you hire me for if you're not going to listen to me?
So there is, do you follow Myron Golden? Myron Golden.
I don't think so.
Myron Golden. He's like a finance guru kind of guy. He's amazing. I'm gonna send you some of my favorite clips of his.
Yeah,
TikTok.
please.
There's Myron Golden TikTok clips, like best of. And he was saying if you're interviewing and there's two people, and they say like, "Why would I choose you?" He's like, "You shouldn't. You should choose them." Well, why would you say that? Because if you're not going to listen to me, don't ask me and my advice on who you should pick.
Yeah.
He was like, that's it.
Yeah.
But it's true. If you reject people, they tend to come back.
Yeah.
So okay.
I wouldn't work with an attorney. I wouldn't work with somebody who doesn't want to listen to my advice. And I could just, when they say, well, we're going to try it out on the market. And then if we don't get, if we don't get that number, we'll cancel it. Well, first of all, I'll put termination clauses in my contracts for that reason, because I'm tired of shelling out thousands of dollars to get homes on the market, for staging and because I don't just throw it up there. I mean, like I have a stager and a photographer and videographer, and I have fully staffed people that get, salaried to handle the back end. So I take my job and my business very seriously. And if you're out here to kind of like test the market on my dime, like I have a problem with that.
You're
So
like, no, thank you.
yeah.
Okay. So let's get to our 10 questions.
Yes.
You and I do this every time, and we could talk for hours.
I know.
Good thing we're going on a cruise together in January.
Yes.
Check out closerscruise.com. Kim Dean, that's a plug for you.
You're welcome, Kim.
We're going to be in the ocean together on a real estate cruise in January 10th through 17th. So I'm super excited.
I'm excited because I get to hang out with some of my favorite people, and it's going to be a write-off.
I know. And we're going to talk, and we're going to have drinks, and we're going to look at the ocean and talk real estate. It's going to be fun. Okay, so here are my questions. So you're doing 100 deals a year. What's the one thing people assume about you because of that number that isn't true at all?
What is one thing that people assume about me that's probably not true? Mm-hmm. Is that I have all the answers. Like that it's easy. It's not.
Yeah. You know what? People assume, because I talk on TikTok, that I also have all the answers.
Yeah. But you look like you have all the answers.
It's the glasses. When people ask me stuff, and I would feel very burdened to then like go out of my way to find the answer if I didn't have it. Mm-hmm. And I was taking myself way out into left field. And I have gotten very comfortable with saying, that's a great question. I don't know.
Yeah.
And just letting it live. Okay, number 2, if tomorrow someone told you you could only sell 25 homes a year, but you'd be twice as happy, would you take that deal? You would.
I would. I'm actually like working on that in my business now. Mm-hmm. One thing I will tell you, like if you're an agent and you're watching this, I hope one thing that you get out of it is it's okay for you to evolve and change direction in your business. Like it's okay to not always stick with what you have done if it's no longer serving you. So to be honest, that's actually kind of my goal is between now and the next 2 years, I want to do more business closer to my house. I live in Argyle. I'm the #1 agent according to Real Trends in Argyle, Texas. I don't care what anybody tells you, it's on the list. And they're higher price points. So I want to increase my price point to work more luxury because I'm a luxury designated agent. I want to do less transactions and make more money. And I want to do it close to home.
Can I call you out on that though?
Yeah, please.
You are saying that, but then when you got the list, you had that gut punch moment that you weren't #1. So if you go down on transactions, you may not even be on the list.
That's true.
How does that feel?
I mean, I'm going to have to figure that out when it comes, I guess.
Well, you and I will cry together.
Yeah, over drinks for sure.
Our bags of money.
Over all the time that we have left. We got back and now we're in Mexico.
Yeah, we'll be like, who decided to sell 25 houses a year? I'm bored. I'm bored.
Yeah, I would actually love it if my lifestyle allowed me to do that, which we're working on.
I kind of max out at 50. Like 100 sounds great, but to me, I don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
But then I also do, you do a lot of other stuff too. I do a lot of other stuff besides that. If you had to start over tomorrow with no database, no name recognition, what's the very first thing you do to rebuild?
I would work open houses Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday
Right? Why don't people work open houses?
because they think it doesn't work, but it's because they show up and put a sign in the yard and they expect everybody to show up and sign in and want to work with them. I mean, open houses is exactly, you get out of it what you put in it.
It's an art form. You have to be
Oh
a
yeah.
certain way. Same thing
Yeah.
with social media. There's an art form.
100%. Yeah.
Number 4, what's one mistake you made early on that you would never repeat again?
I took on every business that I could take on
Yeah.
and I will never do that again.
I'm still in that cycle.
Really?
Yes. I
We gotta
struggle.
talk about that because you're the one that kind of like motivated me and inspired me to not take on all this business I didn't want anymore. So we need to get you back
I was just
on.
talking shit, Shawna. I am but I'm recognizing it. Like I'm recognizing it. And I will say I have referred out $3 million of business this year
That's awesome.
because
Yep.
so I'm not doing it, but I'm right now I feel like I'm in a little bit of a cycle of it.
Yeah. It's not, people think it's a waste of time to be friends with people in your area. And I will tell you, like you and I both know Jason Northcutt. This isn't a shout out to him, but he's known as the landman. I don't even take lot listings anymore. In fact, I referred him someone a couple weeks ago. So he's getting the sell and the buy on that. And then I got somebody who emailed me today basically saying, hey, send me a listing agreement. I don't even know this guy for his lot. And I'm just going to send him to Jason. And then I referred out a $2 million listing in Forney because it's an hour and 21 minutes from me. And I was going to take, we already had the staging done and everything. I paid for all of that. And then the day before we were supposed to have it photographed, I just looked at my husband. I said, every fiber in my being is saying, do not take this listing because I don't want more listings and more business in Forney, which you know is going to happen if you have listings there. So I referred it out. And so, I mean, I have, I don't know, probably over 3 million in listings that are referred out as well for people in my market just because I don't want to work those areas. And it's not my specialty.
Pays to be nice to us.
It does.
All right, number 5 from me, and then I'm going to ask you the questions that people put on the Happy Agent Collective. At that volume, how do you make sure your clients still feel like more than a number? What's your secret sauce for connection?
My back office crushes it. Like every single person who works a transaction with me says, oh my God, your TC is amazing. Your listing coordinator, McKinsey, is amazing. And they are. I have the same people have worked for me. My TC has been with me for, I don't know, 6+ years. She's amazing. I've only met her once in person. She lives in Colorado, but she's licensed in Texas. And my listing coordinator is 100% remote from Arkansas. She's been with us for over 3 years. I have a virtual assistant that's been with us for a little over 2 years. And then we started a virtual assistant company with her. So we own a virtual assistant company. And so that's how I'm able to do it. And I was actually thinking about this today because my thing is I don't want to, with this 150 appointment challenge that I'm doing, that I'm in the middle of right now, I don't want to sacrifice quality. And so it's interesting because when my clients close on a transaction and they're like, oh, I didn't even realize like you had other transactions, like that to me is the best feedback that I could ever get because I would never want somebody to feel like a number.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just asking this for myself. So you're in the middle of your 150 appointment challenge. Give me the top 3 things that you're doing to get those appointments.
I'm actually working my database for the first time,
What
which
does that look like?
I mean, like a mess is what it looks
Are
like.
you calling people, emailing them?
Yeah, I'm reaching out to them. I'm going to start doing handwritten. I know this is so crazy. Like I'm like an old lady. I'm going to do handwritten letters, but I'm going to start doing handwritten letters to some of my sphere. I'm actually setting up like meetings with some of my so I did go through it. I actually did this. My coach told me to do it years ago. I never did, but I'm coachable, I promise. But it's like those things I don't have time for. But I started labeling who my top 25 clients were that refer me business and, shout me out and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm actually going to learn, I'm learning to love on them more through just talking to them, picking up the phone. And I invited one of them to lunch next week if they have time, that kind of stuff. Like for me, that's a money-making activity because I stay top of mind with them all the time. So that's a big one, just staying in touch with your sphere. Social media is a big thing for me but you have to know who your audience is. So for you, I love it because yours is, all things buying and selling. For me, it's all things agents because 75% of my business is agent to agent referrals.
I'm at like 60-40. So I actually, a lot of mine is agent referrals from out of state that I get through TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah. And it's great because all you have to do is answer your phone or answer your DMs. But at the end of the day, you have that hefty referral fee on the back end. And so Eric Hatch, who I was coaching with for a while, he actually is the first person out of every single person I had coached with for 7 years. He's the first one to have looked at my P&L and within 10 minutes said, your money's not from the referrals. Your money is made on the expires that you pick up with no referral fee. You make double on those versus what you make on every referral. And I was like, because I thought I was crushing it, 75 deals a year from agent to agent referrals. But then that's the problem is you can't dictate where your business is going to be because it could be in Forney. It could be, so I want to get more predictable business that I know that if I do certain activities, I'll get business from it in the areas I want to work in, the price points I want to work in. So I just thought that was interesting.
So somebody told me one time when you go through your database is not only just look at like those people that you've worked with that are the referrals, but look for connectors. Who told me that? Whoever told me that. But to look for the people who are connectors. So introducing you to people, even if they're not necessarily a referral, but look for people in your world that are connectors and plug into them. Okay, so what's one more thing that you're doing to get those?
I do a lot of things with other business owners because business owners that support other business owners is like one of the best things that you can do. And so I started a small business meetup here in Argyle, and I was very successful with having a networking group before. And so now I'm just doing it again, but I'm doing a smaller group here in the Argyle area. And I just know that that's going to be a good one because people who own their small businesses, when you support them, law of reciprocity, they want to help you too.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so you answered. So here's the 5 questions from the Happy Agent Collective group. Did she use a TC? Yes. So question. So you have a TC, you have a listing coordinator, you have a VA, you have.
And then my husband acts as my ops manager, and I have a showing agent who's also she's a licensed agent. So she's my showing agent.
So did somebody tell you how to structure this, or you're just like, these things came up and you plugged them in?
Yeah. I mean, like just, being a part of these ecosystems, with Tom Ferry or, just being I'm very big on, I love going to people who are doing it better than me. And I just go to them and ask them all the questions because if they're doing it better than me, they have no problem sharing their information to me. And so I just learn from other people and how they're doing and what works for them and what doesn't. And I ask them, common mistakes they make and I try to avoid those. But yeah, everything I've learned has been through coaching or somebody who's done it. Yeah.
I will say I'm going to take a moment to give a shout out to Real Broker because I know we all love our brokerages, but this is one thing that was shocking to me, and you and I are both with Real, is that we went to an event together in Dallas. Remember Sharon was there, and it was just like a small group. And when we left, I had called Kim, who is my sponsor at Real, and I said, holy shit, I am the dumbest person in the freaking ass room. Like, I'm the dumbest person in the room. She's like, at least you're in the room, bitch. Shut your face. And I said, no, I get that. But to me, there's something about this company, and I also think it's because we don't have brick and mortar offices. Kind of like a goldfish. And I think people grow to whomever is the head goldfish. So if that person sold real estate 10 years ago, their advice is 10-year ago real estate.
Yes.
That's what I found when I was with.
Yeah. But you know what? Relation to what you said is I always knew, that's when I knew I needed to level up with my coaching is because when I was the one that everybody was coming to ask me for advice and I didn't have many people that I felt I could do that return that would level up my business, then I knew that I needed to get in a different room. I'd rather be a small fish in a big pond or whatever. But I'll also tell you that's what made me change brokerages and come to Real Broker is I was at a boutique brokerage. It's absolutely amazing. They're great people, love them to death. But I was with them for less than 6 months. And when I took home all the awards, I'm not kidding. I looked at my husband before we left and I said, this is not where I need to be because where do I go from there? Yeah. Who am I chasing?
Well, the brokerage will definitely humble you. These people are bananas, how they run their business and do stuff. And this was me at the table. What'd you say?
Yeah.
We're doing this. I go, how the hell did you come up with that idea? Like, where the hell did that even come from? It's just like no walls thinking.
Yeah, but that's what's so great about it is people do things that you never even thought about.
Yes.
It changes everything.
And they share, which is, it's the best. So, okay, I'll digress because I just think it's the best. I think it's the best. Okay, so we got that covered. Okay, Angie Bledsoe said she mostly just wants to hear how you use how she uses other leverage besides team members. So we covered that. You've got your
Yeah,
listing
support staff,
coordinator.
100%. I'm a big believer in VAs. The sufficiency, the low cost, the ROI is amazing. Like I'm about to have 3 different TCs. I mean, I'm not 3 different TCs. I'm about to have 3 different VAs doing different things in my business.
And like what? What are they doing?
Like I have one that does like all the back end office. She's my main VA. She actually partnered with us and helped us. She does all the work for our VA business. Like I came up with the idea, but she's the one that actually implements it. Like I'm going to have one that's going to do nothing but work my database and be like my client care manager so that like I can stay on top of my clients. Because I feel like that's a full-time job. And then I wanted to have another one that I want them to learn all the things that I want to do on my social media. I don't want them to post things on my social media, but I want them to know the strategies and the techniques and be up to date on like AI and stuff like that. And actually like edit my videos and know all those things so that I can grow my social media to where I want it. Specifically, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel up and going. And again, that's just another full-time position. I don't need to be learning things in those realms. That's not where my money is made.
So what do they cost? Because I always like to know numbers.
Oh yeah. So our VAs are $1,500 a month for 40 hours a week worth of work. So that's $1,500 a month.
So that would be $3,000 for those 2 people to be doing their jobs 40 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, I own the VA company, so obviously it doesn't cost me $1,500. But yes, so
I mean,
yeah.
what do you charge friends?
I charge them the friends and family discount. Yeah. So,
but happy agent at the end of the podcast.
We'll give you 25% off. So we do have a special going on. We had it through July. We're probably going to extend it through August. But I just think that if I had to do my business all over again, like I love my TC, I love my listing coordinator. But if something happened tomorrow and they said, hey, we don't want to work with you anymore, which please God, don't do that. But if they did, I would put everything over on the VA.
Okay. And then how do people get in contact with your VA company if they're interested?
Yep, just reach out to me on social media. Our company's called Performance VA Solutions. We literally came up with this because I had agents reaching out to me left and right about what I do with my VA, how they help me in my business, and then it kind of took off from there. And so just reach out to me on social media. I'll be happy to get you in touch with our VA and talk about what it is that you're looking for in your VA and schedule some interviews for you to pick one.
Okay. And okay, so she also asked about how you refer out stuff. So we talked about that. You're trying to get closer to home business. What system, Amber Wilson Macer? Sorry, Amber. What system does she use to keep track of everything? Clients, transactions, etc.
Well, I mean, I use Lofty as our CRM that kind of keeps track of all of our past clients, sphere, things like that. But I use CTE. Before I started, so we use CTE.
What's
CTE is just a very, it's an Excel spreadsheet, but like on steroids. And so to be honest, it's not very much at all. And there's something else you'll learn about me is I love to learn how to do things and get the results that I need and want without paying an arm and a leg. Mm-hmm. So I was using this CTE, which is like, don't quote me on this, but I think it's like around $20 or $30 a month, but it literally will track everything you can eat. I mean, it gives you all these different reports, all the things I don't even understand. And so we had stopped using it.
That? Like CTE.com, where do we find that?
No, it's CTE.org, I think, but it's literally just
writing it down.
Yeah, CTE.org. And like, if I wanted to go in there right now, I could look at it and say, okay, I closed this much in July. This is how much I have this is how much my pipeline is for for August, because everything's in charts. And here's another tip for you. I don't enter any information in there. My VA does.
Yeah. Okay. So you have another person that's your back office person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't touch any of these systems, but everything in my business gets done. It's just, I will tell you, out of everything in my business, my only job is to go out and get more business. And I don't touch contracts. I don't touch any of that stuff. Like my team, I go on a listing appointment, I walk out. That's the last thing I do on that listing.
Okay. But do you talk to the clients?
Yeah, I am still their main point of communication.
Okay.
But I put them in a group chat with my listing coordinator, so I don't have to keep relaying information. And once we get into contract, like with the buyer, if it's a buyer gets in contract with them, buying a house, I put my TC on that same chat because I don't want to keep having to relay information. Okay. And so then I'm literally just in there as like a CC almost.
And that doesn't bother them?
No, because I set the expectation when I have my buyer strategy session or my listing appointment. I say, hey, listen, like, I want to make sure that all my clients have, assistance when they need it. Like right now I'm sitting at this listing appointment with you for the last hour. Just know that I have 15 deals going on right now and my team's handling it. And so just know that you have a full team of people. So if you try to reach out to me and you don't get a hold of me, just know that I'm at an appointment. I'll call you back. I said, or we can communicate through this group text with everybody that needs to know. And then you'll have Mackenzie or Megan, my TC, be able to answer your question without you having to wait on me.
Do you feel like you've ever lost business because of that?
I've lost business because people think I have too much business and they think I can't take on their business. But I have, no. For the most part, everybody really loves our process and systems. That's one thing that I always ask as well is before I take on business is like, what is your expectation of me? Like, because if you think I'm going to be available for you 24/7, like I'm not going to be.
I like that question. What is your expectation of me? That's good.
Yeah.
Everyone should be asking that.
Yes.
Good. That's good. Okay. Shalana Tinglin, who I love, who is also with us at Real, and she was Educator of the Year for like the state of Texas. Did you know that?
Wow.
For
All
like
right.
yeah,
Does she wear glasses too?
she does. It just makes me look smart. So she said, "Where's your business coming from?" What's one answer? Where's your expireds?
So I have 4 lead sources:
Okay.
agent to agent referrals, past clients, sphere of influence, and social media.
Perfect. Where's the expired?
They're in my sphere of influence. Like that listing I got that closed yesterday, it was from somebody my husband went to high school with. It was her parents.
Nice.
So they had it on the market with somebody else, couldn't get it done. Then they
Brian,
hired us. That's what I'm saying is I do it kind of by accident now, but I am starting to get back into proactively prospecting for this.
need to do that too. Okay, how has she developed her system and SOP, and what does her rest time look like with lack of a team or someone to pick up her SOP and work with it? There's so many words that I'm not smart enough.
Well, SOP I heard. So I will tell you this. If you're doing anything, create a checklist for it. And if you're doing something, let's say you're thinking about hiring, first of all, I will tell you this, just I know nobody asked my opinion, but if you are a brand new agent,
your opinion.
if you're a brand new agent, you 100% need an experienced TC because you don't understand contracts. You are risking your clients' earnest deposits, their money. Like you don't know what you don't know. My TC has taught me so much. I have a couple of TCs that are great and they're looking for more work. So let me know if you're looking for anybody. But 100%, it doesn't matter if you do 1 transaction or 100. You need a TC.
Yeah.
You don't need to be touching those contracts. Do yourself a favor and
I only got one 4 years ago. I would say because I just was cheap and I didn't want to more so I didn't want to lose control. And I was running myself ragged. And finally I trusted, I got one.
Yeah.
And have
Trust is the big thing. Yeah, for sure.
That's a big thing.
So I will say, make sure if you're doing something that you create a checklist for it as you're doing it. If you're doing anything more than one time, it needs to have a checklist. And the other thing is if you are going to go VA route, which again, I think is a great way to do it. I always tell people, if you're on your computer, say running comps or you're typing up a contract, screen record it. So we use Zoom to screen record our stuff. I think you can use Loom or some other stuff. I'm not sure, just whatever works for you, but screen record it and then start saving those videos in like a private YouTube channel or in your Google Drive and start building out your online university. It will help you train and onboard people so much easier. I think that's important. My thing is I want everybody cross-trained. So like my TC, my listing coordinator knows everything my VA does and vice versa because my listing coordinator is getting ready to have a baby and we're not even worried about it because we're going to bring on an extra VA for the time that she's gone. My VA is going to train that VA because she knows how to do her job as well. And it's going to be a very, knock on wood, it's going to be a very seamless process for 3 or 4 months or however long we need.
That's good. Okay. How are you still providing, Jennifer Kahn says, how are you still providing good customer service, answering all the phone calls, client texts, etc.? So you said you've got people in group texts.
I think a lot of people would avoid a lot of heartache if they just set proper expectations or set your expectations at your first meeting.
Yeah.
Like I just tell people like, this is what you can expect from me.
So what do you tell them? Give me your expectations.
So I just say, hey, listen, my one of my core values is communication. So I believe in open and honest communication. And so I'm going to communicate with you every step of the way. If you have any questions, you need anything, please reach out to me and let me know. But just know that, I'm in appointments all the time because I go on, 20, 30 appointments a month on average. So if I miss your call, just know, I just tell them like what's going to happen. And my goal is always to tell them the next couple of steps because if they come to me and say, what's next? I haven't done my job.
Yeah.
And so I think, and to answer your question is how do I serve my clients well is I have so much experience that I use that when I go on my appointments by setting expectations. And if you set the proper expectations and you have the experience and the confidence to back it up, that's the best way you could serve your client. Okay. Just like you and I both know like how it is when it comes to like repair amendments, right? And things will fall apart. I tell my buyers on their buyer strategy session, hey, listen, we're not going to nitpick the inspection, because if you want a new house, then we can go buy a new build, and just know there's going to be items come back on that inspection too. So we're going to look for like the main items, we're going to look for like the roof, the water heater. So I will tell you, like, if you set those expectations, I will tell you, I don't have any problems with negotiation of repairs.
Yeah. But I also want to point out to everybody who's watching this, listen to the way you said it and your body language and your tone. You said it with, you did not skip a beat. You didn't say, when we get the report back, we're gonna that. Like
Yeah.
that kills agents. That
Yeah.
that uncertainty. If you're too uncertain to say to them what you need to say, they're not going to believe a damn thing you say, and they're going to subconsciously think you're not on their side.
Or they're going to railroad you and tell you, then it's going to be miserable.
Absolutely. But the delivery of how you just said it is a masterclass that people need to pay attention to.
But
So,
you know how I learned how to do all of that and not say that, because I used to be like that when I first started? It's the repetition and the consistency of going on appointments and talking to sellers.
yeah. And
You just internalize it.
it's also your leverage of not needing to have that next one.
That's right.
Well, while it's always really nice to have, there in knowing that you're not going to live and die by the next
Right.
thing that somebody is doing. And so this is, you know how there is a big thing. I don't know if it's still going around, but everyone's like, what's your why? What's your why? Tell me your why. So my why is I don't want to be anyone's bitch, because
Better than mine.
love my kids, but they're
Yeah.
not my why. I don't want to be anyone's bitch. When we lost all of our money and I had to go clean houses with two babies under the age of 5 and lived on a $60 a week food budget, I was everybody's bitch. I did everything I didn't morally want to do physically. Like I was cleaning houses. I was doing everything, and I'm very scrappy. And that to me is I no longer had control of my own life, made my own decisions. I wasn't proud of what I was doing, and I said that was it. Like
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be in the position that I am beholden to somebody else's win.
That's right.
Period. That was
So
it.
it's interesting because my why is pretty similar to yours, but you said it way better and more fun than me. So I think because for years everybody kept saying, find your why. Oh, it's probably your family. Listen, I'm going to provide for my kids no matter what. I don't care if I have to go work at Amazon or whatever. No knock to them. I'm saying if I had to get out of real estate or I wasn't making money in real estate, I would go get 2 or 3 jobs to be able to provide for my family. Obviously, our lifestyle would change probably a little bit, but that, that's fine. Like I'm always going to provide for them. That's not a big enough why for me. I will tell you, I figured out my why when I listened to Ryan Serhant's Sell It Like Serhant on audiobook. The very beginning of the book starts out with him going to a store to get a cup, like a snack, and he went to go run his card, and I'm talking like $3. It was like a yogurt and a cheese stick. Went to go run his card, and his card declined. And then him saying his why was that he never wanted to feel like that again and never not be able to buy something that he wanted to buy. And that's when I knew immediately, I never want to feel, because I've been there, not to the extent that you have, but we've had to sell houses to stay in real estate. We've had, like our own houses that we lived in. We've had to like really, I've talked about it on different podcasts and on my social media. I'm very transparent about that. There's been times where we've had to do that. And my why is that I never want to feel so out of control and just scared of not knowing where we're going to get the money to pay whatever, or, feed our kids or whatever. For me, my biggest why is I never want to feel like that ever again.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Shawna.
This is so fun.
So much time and talking, and you're amazing. And I know lots of people want to work with you, and so feel free to reach out to Shawna with all the amazing things you're doing. The performance. Tell me your Facebook page.
It's mine's Shawna, so it's just Shawna Kay Martinez Realtor, because I'm verified with my middle name. But and the group is Momentum Group. But if you just message me on social media, I'll send you the link.
And then you've got the VA. You also sponsor agents at Real.
I do. And guess what? If you want to come to Real, we can co-sponsor, and then you get both of us.
I know, and I've co-sponsored with several agents from like across the U.S.
Yeah.
Here, we have an awesome group, and so
I don't know if you could handle both of us, but it's worth a shot.
it's worth a shot. You certainly wouldn't get away with shit with both of us.
No, you wouldn't. But you would have fun, and you'd
would
be
have
successful.
fun. We
Yeah.
do have fun. I will say that is as sometimes as stressed and chaotic and unhinged as it may all seem. I think you and I both absolutely love what we do, and it's almost like a little obsession.
Yeah, I'm
Definitely
obsessed for
love it.
sure.
But I appreciate you so much for being honest.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yes, and again, your honesty I think is going to really impact a lot of people because it's very easy to see you and your beautiful face, and your freaking skin is gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
I hate that for me and I love it for you. So stunning. And you're just yourself and you're authentic. And I love your energy and your vibe, and you're doing
Thank you.
amazing things.
Thank
And
you.
sometimes when you talk to people like that, they're not always transparent about what that
Yeah.
actually looks like. So thank you for,
Yeah.
on behalf of everybody, for doing
Yeah.
that. And I adore you. And I will see you soon.
Same.